Hi, guys. Hi. Hello. How is everybody? Sorry for the late start, guys. That was all me. Welcome to an all new Why
It
Are We
was a
Like
little bit me too. I will take
No.
some ownership. No, I look, I was a little sluggish on setting up the laptop in my little corner.
Oh,
I'm part of this too.
I love
So
I love I love how you step up to take responsibility. I was washing my dog and have no excuse. I just realized that I time managed poorly and was not blow drying my dog in time to get this show started.
was it
And then I got
Tulpa or
Sammy. So she has a lot of
okay.
hair. She's very
Mm-hmm.
fluffy. It's
Mm-hmm.
fun to me, how much time I can spend on these dogs as opposed to myself in terms of hygiene. But that's another story for another podcast. Guys, this is Why Are We Like This with me and Adam Collins. We're going to be joined by some special guests tonight, which I'm really excited about. Tonight's sort of like a grab bag episode. This show is
Mm-hmm.
basically structured about formative pop culture, like stuff that we grew up on, stuff that sort of enhanced our sensibilities or sort of influenced how we became the kind of people we are. And tonight we're doing a sort of grab bag, all encompassing one that I think me and Adam have wanted to do for a while, which is just the internet that made us.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Very much.
yeah, Adam, what was your first interactions with the internet like? I mean, I think we're roughly the same age. Maybe you're a little younger, but
Yeah. So I remember my literal first interaction with the internet was in like 1996.
mm-hmm.
And I was visiting the school where my dad was teaching at the time, and they had dial-up internet set up on campus.
Mm-hmm.
And a colleague of his explained, like, yeah, you type in what you want in the search bar, and pull stuff up. And I just remember I kept Googling things about the movie Twister.
No,
Yes,
no,
yes,
no, you didn't. No, don't lie
yes.
to me. You just Googled.
It,
Oh my God, Adam.
It's true. It's true. Because I remember, I just remember being fascinated. I typed in Twister,
God.
and then it
Yeah.
brought up like pictures of tornadoes and like nothing but blue hyperlinks to websites, like in
Yeah.
the old day. And then I remember I found like a Twister fan site, and I clicked on it,
Of course
and
you did, as one does.
and it was just this like great like flash animation, like lightning banner, and just people with just like globs of text talking about Twister. And I didn't know really what I was looking at the time, but like I remember doing that and Googling pictures of the Beatles.
Googling.
Not Googling back then, but what we call
Not
Googling
Googling.
now. Yeah, I was
What was it? How
I
did we
was
find pictures?
I was Alta Vista-ing.
Yeah, I was about to say, how did we used to find pictures? I don't really remember how I used to find pictures on the
God,
internet.
I said I Googled before Google existed. That's weird.
I mean, this is starting to make me start to feel like maybe I'm crazy here. I think I started with AOL. That was my first experience with AOL, and being part of Rent. I mean, that's more of like the email flavor side of things, but that's really what I was. I wasn't a lot of listserv, like Rent listservs. So I really liked the movie Rent, back then it was a Broadway show Rent that I saw all the time, and had a Rent themed room that was like too much. Honestly, just too much what I was doing with
the
Rent.
Delaware attic.
It was not the Delaware attic. This was when I moved to Maryland. I got really into Rent. I had a red room that I painted like dark red, and had a Rent desk that someone made me that like just was like scrapbooking of all the Rent stuff that had been like sort of laminated onto the desk. My first like username was like Rap Girl, RAPP, not because I liked rap, because I like Anthony Rapp, the guy who played Mark in Rent. And I remember that I had an Angelfire website, like very early on. I had an Angelfire hosted blog, where I would put like sort of songs that I'd written about Robert Downey Jr. Up. I would do poems and stories and just generally reviews of movies. And I think this might have been around the year of like Our Lord and Savior 1999. Because I remember all the good movies were out. Like every good movie that to review as a 15-year-old or whatever, or 14-year-old was like out that year.
99 is a great year. I was having a conversation recently about how, for me, not just because they came out in the same year, but Office Space, The Matrix, and Being John Malkovich are all linked in my head because of their office imagery.
Yep. Yes. Yeah. It was like this kind of like weird. Yeah. And same with me and like Fight Club. And I mean, were they same year? Fight Club and American Beauty?
Fight Club has some good office imagery too.
Is that also 99?
Fight Club's 99, American Psycho's 2000. So
no, not American Psycho, American Beauty.
Oh, American Beauty, yeah.
That was 99, right? Because they both had scenes where the guy beat himself up in front of his boss, or
That's
like,
right.
or like sort of like made like propositioned himself, or like made a threat to his boss that involved like getting out of work for free. So did Office Space, kind of. Weird.
Before I forget, I just saw Garth's comment, and yes, it is. I'm so happy that I was able to finally get hooked up with a Peggy Gubbins shirt, and I hear she's working on an Etsy store or something, and we were all going to promote the shit out of that when it happens.
Oh my God, I'm really excited. I love it when like finding like merch that you can just buy straight from the people here. I
got Salt Cat soap while I was out there.
Oh, I know. I was talking to Bibbs this week, and he said that you guys have been over, or you said that, and then I reaffirmed it with him just in case.
Yeah. I went over to Salt Cat headquarters and got it straight from the source. Got this. I said to his partner Michelle, who just is the genius behind so many of these soaps. I was like, I love bourbon, tobacco, and leather scents. You know,
my God.
and she they had this amazing tobacco scented bar. Yeah. And it was the last one, and I got it, and I can't wait to start using it. So
you have no idea. We went to Universal last weekend, not to like go on any rides or anything, just because we like City Walk, because we're like weird like that. And we went to City Walk, and we got Eric just goes, "Would you like some forbidden snacks?" And I look around, and he's talking about a soap store where all the soap look like candies and like cake.
Oh God, I know exactly what you're talking about, because I was at City Walk last week as well, and I saw the same thing, and I thought of Bibbs and Michelle because of that. Yeah,
we went in, we got these scrubs and stuff, and like I was like, I like, we got up like $160 worth of scrubs. We kind of got upsold a bunch of. They're like, if you buy 3, you can get an extra one. And I was like, dope. So we have like 4 scrubs, all this lotion. But I was like, the scents that I like on a dude are tobacco and like, I don't like smokers, but I like the smell of tobacco.
Right,
and,
like pipe tobacco, like unburned. Yeah.
It smells really good. Anyway, early internet for me was a lot of LimeWire. Side tangent.
LimeWire destroyed my computer, but go on.
What happened?
Oh, it was a while ago. It was like 2007, 2008. I remember I really wanted to download some songs on LimeWire, and I put it on my laptop on a whim, and it crashed everything. So
I used it mostly for like Dr. Demento songs and like Laurie Anderson, my 2 things in music at the time, and Rent, probably a lot of different versions of like Rent songs. Another thing is I got a little bit older, and the internet was like the internet was ubiquitous by the time I got into high school, but it wasn't like necessary to function. Like people used it, but it wasn't like necessary. By the time I got to college, it was like, live journals and all that stuff were like already big. But I'm talking, I went through the evolution of Angelfire, Zanga, live journal, and then I think Tumblr was where I ended up eventually. All of which had different names, I'm pretty sure. And so it's gonna be like I was trying to go back and find my Zanga, but I think it was like my user handle was something like Cheshire Wisdom. And that just like tells you a little bit about what was going on with me, which is, I don't know, words that sounded cool together in my mind, because there's literally no meaning behind the phrase Cheshire Wisdom. You can like overthink it and be like, I guess maybe it means like mysterious and like know stuff, but like it doesn't really. It means nothing.
It's just I figure you look up to the Cheshire Cat, which is understandable.
Yeah, but like how smart is that thing? I don't know. It just seems like say cryptic shit all the time. The other one I had was the Crying Muse, which like, again, these are like very like almost aspirationally poetic things that I feel like I was definitely trying to be a type of person. Like you can kind of tell what kind of person I was trying to be with these like very like fanciful sounding names. But then I'm sure if you read it, if you were actually able to find any of these things, they were very basic. And then I think there was just basically rave and drug journals for a while as I went through high school. But this is where I started finding like really cool stuff on the internet. I think in high school where I found Shay St. John and Wire Therapy, which I'm going to pull up a picture. If you guys don't know what that is, whoa, it's scary. Did you have a chance to watch this, Adam?
So I was able to get a taste. Yeah. And it reminded me a lot of Lynch, obviously, Maya Deren, all the stuff we've discussed. But please give me some more context.
Okay, so wire therapy. In fact, I can share you a video without playing the sound, and I don't think we can get in trouble for that. So they just added a new thing where you can play a whole video on these things. So let's see if I can just do that. Shay St.
Use
John,
all the tricks. Video.
Yeah, no problem here. Shay St. John was a person, possibly a puppet. Unclear, actually. It was never really clear what Shay St. John was. It was a crazy looking person that looked like a scary mask half the time. Let me share. Here we go. Share screen, this thing. Oh, there was apparently a bizarre and true story about it. So let's see. This is Shay St. John. Oh God, close the window. She was sort of dressed in this, always like in this weird like mask, and she talked like a little animal or something. She's like, "Hi, she's like wire therapy. Hello," and she would just say like weird, creepy shit. And she had like a life, like she had like a whole. It was like almost like somebody watching someone play with like a doll that was life size. It was very, very creepy. I'm trying to find like one of the videos of it that I can possibly play. Very weird, very creepy, and I was obsessed with her. Like I was obsessed with like this puppet thing. Now I'm fascinated.
Seeing some connections,
right? She was a. I guess I'm seeing it. It was created by backstory that she was a supermodel disfigured in a car accident who rebuilt herself with a body of mannequin parts. So that was her thing. And she was always telling us like about her weird life and all the stuff that she was doing. But she had this one thing specifically where she was into wire therapy, which was a type of therapy that involved taking a lot of wires. Here we go. And moving her body around in unnatural, unusual ways. And I was obsessed with her. I'm trying to play it now. Here we go. This is Shay St. John's wire therapy. She was just like, it was, it was weird as hell, man. There was nothing behind it. I'm realizing it was just a connection of surrealist art project statements, but it at the time seemed like a call. I think like Being John Malkovich is a good point. Like there was some weird shit going on as I was developing in high school that I was like, oh, there's people out there even weirder than me who have like even weirder things in their heads than I do. And yeah, I was like, either this person's real and like it's horrifying, or they're real and it's wonderful, or it's someone's like art project. And it was never clear to me what the answer was. I mean, it was just like, when I say like this stuff was creepy, it was like the way that her body's kind of moving in this like that freaking malignant thing, the Gabriel.
Oh
like,
yes.
It's just very
It looks like Leatherface as you get into like Texas Chainsaw: The Next Generation when he starts dressing in more drag. Mm-hmm. Like that looks like late generation Leatherface to me too.
Yeah, it's just the whole thing was really weird, and I realized I realized at that point that like the internet was a weird place, and it was for weird people who can do like scary things. And I have like another one like that too, which is I guess like the Slenderman stuff, but that ties into another thing to bring up. But yeah, well, because
this is very Leatherface to me.
Oh, it's incredibly Leatherface, and if you could like hear it, like the way it was cut together too. Yeah, don't forget, Kitty is scary to feed the cat, and then it's like, yeah, Kitty. Like the whole thing was edited together like a psychotic, rambling dream that somebody was having. Those were very clearly like cats, and she was scary, and I loved her. And if we like literally just spent the rest of the episode just silently watching Shay St. John
narrating this masked woman feeding her cat Cheerios. Yeah, I could get it. Yeah,
feeding her cat Cheerios, just perfect. And I think another thing that really did it for me about these videos early on was realizing that's not a nice house. Oh, sorry, I'm paused right now. I don't know why my audio keeps or my video keeps pausing. That's like not I mean, it's not like a terrible house. It's just not a house that's like in Hollywood. This was obviously not like somebody's like $1 billion mansion. This wasn't on a movie set. This was just somebody's home somewhere.
Well, that's what makes it look so real. And that in the early ages of the internet, that's what I loved about things like the Blair Witch Project, like we talked about last month. All the built-in viral marketing before viral marketing was a thing. And just the way people could interact with the premise, which really led into a lot of the excitement for the movie itself. I love that a lot of that culture was very, very prevalent already in the 90s.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm trying to figure out why my video will not stay. Maybe it's because I'm playing.
I'm hypnotized by this what I'm watching here.
I'm like okay with the fact that I'm. Yeah.
You're back in motion. You're good.
Okay, great. I don't know what that is. It's like I can't play 2 crazy videos at one time. Can't have my face in that thing. Poot Shoot Riot is asking. Great name. Is asking. Sounds dirty, but like it technically is fine. Speaking of Leatherface, you guys excited for the new Texas Chainsaw game and movie? Did you watch the trailer for the new Texas Chainsaw?
No. So
oh my God, really?
I'm here's the thing. I'm really excited about the new Texas Chainsaw, but I'm taking my time with like seeing anything about it because honestly, I think the last like really decent Texas Chainsaw movie was the 2003 remake.
Which one? The Beale one or the
Beale one, and then the prequel's okay. I think the both of the Arlie Ermey movies I think are like quite watchable.
I like the Dario one. I'm gonna be honest. I like Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3D. It has maybe the best one ever. Do your thing, cuz.
I'll give you that. Look. I think Texas Chainsaw 3D gets back to the schlock in a really fun way. But I found the 2003 remake genuinely suspenseful and frightening at times. But yeah, I think you have nowhere to go but up after they did Leatherface, the other prequel that like no one talks about.
Yes, the one that where like Leatherface is a normal looking guy, like he's like a hot dude in a mental institution. So you spend the entire movie thinking Leatherface is the big bulky guy. That one or the other one?
The one that came out, the most recent film that came out like 5 years ago.
Oh, okay, never mind. That's not the one I was thinking of.
So, but this is doing the direct sequel to the original film thing, right?
Right. Leatherface. So, I mean, I would think that is a franchise that has more than any other one rebooted itself for every single movie, right? Like no movie has remained internally consistent with like the logic of the last movie. It keeps rebooting.
No. Texas Chainsaw has like no through line whatsoever. It constantly reinvents itself. And honestly, one of my favorites.
Sorry, this video
is amazing.
Just hitting herself in the face with this mask. It's so good. Okay, go ahead.
It's complete madness. Okay. This is quite distracting.
I can take it down if it's distracting.
Wow.
It's just so good. Like
it's almost better without audio.
Yeah, it is. I think this is some of her wire therapy.
What I was going to mention about like early like internet content, especially as it pertains to videos and web series. Something Mark Hoyk and I bonded over early on is his complete obsession with Homestar Runner.
Oh yeah, Homestar Runner was a big one. That was a big one.
Yeah, and a lot of people are familiar with it, but just as many aren't. So
Homestar Runner, explain then, because I always thought of like Homestar Runner in the same vein as Space Ghost, but it's not. Like literally, it's not the same thing.
It's like the internet version of Space Ghost. It's like basically it was, and people in the chat, if you are more familiar with Homestar Runner, feel free to illuminate.
It was like all of us. Thing. It was like a huge thing.
It was almost like an animated sketch comedy show where you have Homestar Runner himself, who's this goofy character who does lots of things, but Strong Bad was this like martial artist, luchador, wrestler combination guy who was really, really off the wall and had a lot of like ridiculous hip hop songs. And, And so when Hoyk and I when I started getting to know him better, when I started in the Schmoedown, he would speak in Homestar Runner references. And
I love Mark Hoyk. Jesus Christ.
I know we got to have him on the show.
I know we talked to him last week. He's got to come on.
He's down. He is really, he wants to come on here, so we'll have him soon. But yeah, he loves speaking in references to that. And I just remember watching the videos. They were classic like flash animated videos, and really, really funny stuff. You can look it all up online if you're unfamiliar, but those of you who have seen it, I wonder what your interaction was with that. Strong Bad right there.
That's Strong Bad. That's not Homestar Runner. And I think, were they from outer space? Was that the deal? I think that's part of it. I think that's part of it. If the internet could tell me again, just refresh my mind about what Homestar Runner was about, or I could Google it real quick because we have that now. I'm pretty sure. Oh my god, why does my thing keep freezing? Would you do? I'm like trying to figure out an easy hack for this. I think the easiest hack is for me to just be right back and go off and be right back. So I will do that. Adam, take over for 1 second.
I can do that.
Sweet.
Okay. All right. So here we are. So yeah, real quick primer on Homestar Runner. So yeah, like I was saying, it was a Flash animated series from the early 2000s. As far as Homestar himself, I don't know if he was an alien exactly, but Strong Bad was the one who really broke out and ran away with the show. And I just remember they ended up cutting an entire album. A lot of my friends had the actual CD of the Homestar Runner songs. And that was like the beginning of a lot of these, memeable web-based shows and general content. With the stuff she just showed me about the mask stuff, I never really watched much of that. That stuff kind of missed me, but now that I watch it, I can't unsee the connections between that stuff and some of the classic early Schmoedown VideoDrew content that really just asked more questions than it answered. That's what it made me think of. So when I going back to Homestar Runner, I remember I discovered that in the early 2000s, and when I originally started watching it, I thought it was like something from Cartoon Network. It had that kind of aura about it, and that's why when Drew brought up Space Ghost, I can see that connection entirely, because it was this sort of self-referential, satirical stuff that really dug into the moment in a really clever way. And back then, I didn't even realize what it was doing. I thought it was all just completely random, nonsensical humor. And you go back and watch it now, and you realize how incredibly clever it is. And I believe it went through some kind of renaissance not too long ago. I don't know if anyone's still like clued into it as much, but I was talking about how Homestar Runner went through a renaissance not too long ago.
People got back into Homestar?
Oh yeah. No, I was monologuing there about it for a second, just because I feel like it came back into vogue not too long ago, but I don't know to what extent.
Let's see. Oh wow. Yeah, I don't know either. I'm trying to look right now at the Shay St. John thing. Shay St. John, like big artist reveal. It was oh my god, I found her website. Holy shit, that still exists. The Way Back Machine, but by the way, guys, is your friend. The Way Back Machine is absolutely your friend when it comes to all things old internet. I always associated Strong Bad and that whole world of Homestar Runner with like Aqua Teen Hunger Force for some reason. Because they had the same vibe. Like we said, like Space Ghost, like other things. Like this was around the time that like Adult Swim was just becoming the biggest thing in my life, just taking over my life history. And I remember watching that a lot in high school. C-Lab, Aqua Teen, all these things. And they were not yet tied to the internet, but it would become this thing of like internet shorthand culture. Like the fact that Aqua Teen would have on MC Chris, the guy who sang that song about Boba Fett. I'm Boba the Fett. My backpack's got shit. I bounty hunt for Jabba Hutt to finance my vet. I come from deep space. And he just had this like cool rap about Jabba the Hutt. I mean, about the guy just sang about, Boba.
Yes.
And it's funny just to say his first name. And I remember thinking, like, this guy's cool. Where do I find him? Oh, he's on the internet. That's where people can get famous. Like this. And like the Adult Swim a lot of times would just pull from like random people that were getting like micro famous before it was a thing. It was yeah, go ahead.
Oh no, please continue before I get into my next thing.
No, I was literally going to say that I was literally about to launch into my next thing, which was so go ahead if you have a thought.
No, just one thing leads to another. Early 2000s, like high school leading into college, that was when I digested a lot of this content. And so for me, Homestar Runner was kind of like one of the first forays into some of that stuff. And then what I really sunk my teeth into was salad fingers.
Yes. And I understand why. David Firth, right? That's his name?
I think so. And like there's so much of that stuff I haven't watched in years that I would have to dust off. But I remember really digging into those videos and not knowing what I was getting into, but being fascinated.
Salad fingers was very strange. That it was almost like that was the stuff that like I wasn't into that much. Like something about it like creeped me out. Like there is like you wouldn't think this, but I do have like a barometer for like certain kinds of stuff that is too weird for me. A lot of it's animation based. A lot of it is stop motion. Like I don't like stop motion. I find it really creepy. So like that guy who did that Alice in Wonderland, it's all like stop motion. It's very scary. I don't like that at all.
Oh, Alice.
Salad fingers. What was his name?
I think the movie's called just Alice.
Alice. Yeah. He did this other one. I think like Olaf or something. It was about like a little kid made out of sticks. It was very scary. So I found salad fingers, which is not stop animation, but like very kind of like Don, what's his name? Don Hirschfeld. They're like, my spoon is too big. That guy. You remember Don Hertzfeld, I think is his name. He's incredible. His stuff is like, that was like almost the same vibe, but salad fingers, for some reason, it creeped me out. Let me try to bring up an image.
It's not something I recommend binging, and it's very, very off-putting. But the thing I liked about it was the randomness of it. And that every 2 to 3 minute video just made me kind of look inward and question why I was watching it and digging into it in the first place. But Flash animation was all the rage back then.
Yes. I think, that's what I mean. Like Flash animation and stop motion animation, both of them really creeped me out because they kind of spoke to being able to see that the thing was not, I don't know what to say about it. Like, it's almost like being able to see that the artwork is, jerky or somehow like created. Like you're almost like watching a half finished product or something that's very like, in the way that I didn't really like Texas Chainsaw Massacre growing up because it felt very much like not a movie. It was like too creepy to me because it felt like watching someone's home videos. Like it felt very unpolished in a way that I found disturbing on a different level than just content wise. Like aesthetically, I found it disturbing and all.
Well, that's what those Shay St. John videos kind of made me think of. And
absolutely, you can't explain why you like certain things. Obviously.
And obviously, all found footage is going for that. But the found footage film that's always like, and it's not like one that like a lot of people have seen, but because it went through like a release issue. Poughkeepsie tapes.
The Poughkeepsie days, yeah, I've seen the Poughkeepsie tapes.
Yeah, that one
like disturbing content.
When I finally caught up with that was a found footage movie that really unnerved me.
The one where he's like, it's a serial killer and he's sort of filming his victims, right? And you're watching like the videos, and they're like weird videos. It's like somebody sitting on a balloon. It's
and he's like crawling around in his basement wearing a plague mask and stuff. It's pretty disturbing. Unsettling.
It does have a vibe of like you're just watching like unedited, like a killer's thing. Yeah, there's something like basement quality about this. The whole early internet art scene, whatever you want to call it, found footage, where it is disturbing because it is like what you imagine crazy people do. And I think to a certain extent, a lot of these outsider artists were like I was when I started making VideoDrew videos and like in the Schmoedown and making like weird little art things, like a little bit isolated and a little bit like off their rocker to begin with. So their art like speaks to that, a certain kind of like darkness, basement quality to it, where you're like, is the person making this a serial killer? How much of it is a commentary on being still like a crazy person? How much of this is like, how much is an artistic statement or like a commentary, and how much of this is like really how this person lives their life?
And I what I loved about like, especially early 2000s internet culture was like, that was when we as a society were really kind of settling into what the technology meant. We were getting more casual with it. And I think back then, that particular decade, 2000 to 2010,
Yeah, like literally 2000 to 2010. Yeah.
Yeah, like I feel like we were finding our footing with it, but it also, I think, since then, the internet, the problem has become its portability. So like I think we not only take it for granted more, but I think you have to kind of dig harder for content like this.
Okay.
Like it's available in theory, but like for me, like that's why ClickHole is so important to me.
Right.
Because ClickHole is like a steady IV of the stuff I miss about the internet.
Like, where's like the FARC for this generation? It's all like it's not just that it's all like on the internet. It's like the internet has become very platform based, right? Like I know that there's a good horror community on TikTok,
right?
But I don't know how to do the tag stuff. I don't know how to like find it. And it's all, when people create ARGs now, they're created through like alternate reality games that I used to like the concept of them. They have to jump around from platform to platform, which is like a little bit harder for me to like keep up with or understand. I think on an intuitive level than Gen Zers or even like later born millennials. Like I just don't understand like how to use the thing from Instagram to then hop over to like a similar account on TikTok. Like something that I watch a lot is this guy Nightmind.
Okay.
He is a YouTube guy who his avatar is like a cat with 3 eyes, and he does explainer videos. Beautiful sonorous voice, and I think you'd actually really like him, Adam. Like his videos, he did one for "Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared," that series that I showed you. And he just kind of like breaks down in a very professorial but very like fun and like in on the joke way, like the strangest parts of the internet and like some of the strangest alternate reality games and sort of what like and just games in general and like just weird internet content. But he breaks it down in this level that is very like to the artistic statement of the people creating it. Like he will like know how to bounce around from the secret Twitter account to the other account that is actually part of the same game or same narrative, to the like TikTok, to the Tumblr, and all the different decoding methods. But he just like puts it together for you in a video. So you don't have to run around being like, I don't understand. Or like, I thought this thing just ended here. Like it just stood alone as its own thing. Like we kind of expanded the universe and what the capabilities of what the internet and these different app platforms could do and make it so big. So I also have a hard time really finding like where to find the weird content these days, but it's because I'm old. Realizing
I struggle with that too. And a lot of it is also about just like drowning out all the noise and the things I don't care about. And it's, for me personally, I feel like I've lived with it, internet culture, so long that I'm numb to certain aspects of it. So I've certainly gone through that with social media. I'm at a phase in my life where, for whatever reason, Twitter is the social media platform I use more than anything else, and I don't even use it that much. Facebook and Instagram have fallen by the wayside to me.
What about Letterboxd? Are you not?
Letterboxd, yes, but like that's more impersonal. So like Instagram, I barely ever check, and Facebook I check, but I don't post. It's more a ways to. When I started using Facebook, literally back in college, when Mark Zuckerberg and
invented it. I was in London. I remember it very well.
I joined it in 2005. So I get like Facebook memories from 16 years ago, and it's horrifying. Not because it was embarrassing, but just because I've been on there that long.
And before that, Adam, you remember what was before that?
MySpace and LiveJournal. Friendster, yes.
Oh my God, Friendster. This is how old I am. I don't really remember what Friendster did or was. I don't remember why I liked it or what it did. I just remember that it was sort of like a previous Facebook incarnate. It was like Facebook, but I don't think you could talk to anyone on it. I'm not exactly sure what Friendster was, actually.
I never used Friendster. I did use MySpace, and like I can still dig up my old MySpace profile if I search for it. But like I remember loving, the thing I loved about MySpace was you could put a song that would like play when people go to your page. Do you remember that?
Yeah, no, I loved MySpace because you could put people on your top 10 or 7. Like, but they didn't need to be people you knew. So like I had BJ Novak in my top 10 or whatever of like friends or like people, but they didn't even need to accept your request. You would just be like, these are the top 10 people I like in the world.
And back then, people thought it meant you knew them sometimes.
Yep. And then, ironically, I would later turn out to know BJ and get his book agent and like a lot of stuff. So I was like, it's almost like I manifested my MySpace into reality. So what we're watching here, by the way, is just this guy Nightmind. I don't want to get copy flagged, and I don't want to like bite into his viewership, but like you guys need to check out his channel. No, AJ Lancaster. I've sent him a video today. This is him explaining a series called "Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared," which is my favorite thing of all time. It is also a creation of the internet, so I feel like I can back channel, low key add this in at him. It is a very weird British web series. It only has 5 episodes. And it takes the perspective of, these little creatures that are seemingly being taught lessons, like in a kid show kind of way. But the lessons are all wrong, and their mentor figures are all wrong. Like they're telling them incorrect information and sort of like scarily kind of pushing them towards like a boundary of insanity. And this is him, Nightmind. Sort of to, as an homage, he made himself this week into a puppet, although we don't normally see him. And it's all like sort of, he's just like a faceless voice. He made this whole world out of felt just so he could like do a proper exploration of Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared. And like that, I appreciate that level of commitment. I'm so happy to see. It's very refreshing.
Would it be fair? Sorry, go ahead.
No, please.
Would it be fair to bring up a non-internet piece of puppet weirdness?
Yes, my God, please.
Okay, so I'm quite a secular fellow nowadays, but I was raised in a Methodist household. Not strictly Methodist, my parents drank, but I went to a Methodist church growing up. And they did this thing in like when I was like like getting into middle school, where they were like trying to like entertain the kids. And so they had a monthly puppet performance.
No.
Where like these puppets would like, they set it up and they would rehearse the shit out of it. And they would do these songs and these sketches with these puppets. And they called it the Pulpit Pals.
Oh my God. That's
Pulpit, the Pulpit
That's very
Pals.
Scary and very reminiscent of something that happened to me. But go on with your story. I want to hear about
Well, I've always wanted to do the, like people, like remember when like they started doing like the horror adaptations of like childhood properties. What was the one from a couple?
Like Hansel and Gretel, Witch Hunters.
Well, I like the one about the animatronic things, not Willy's Wonderland or
Five Nights. It's a Freddy, like Five Nights.
Not Five Nights at Freddy's. The
Nick Cage one.
Not the Nick Cage one. The one about the
Pookie.
It's not theatrical, so people can't dog us for not knowing this for the Schmoedown. But like,
it's a TV show. What is it?
Let me just look it up. Someone in the chat's probably going to beat us to it.
I have no idea. I was going to say my Hebrew school used puppets to explain the Israel-Palestine conflict.
Oh, Banana Splits. Duh. Banana Splits. Garth got it.
Oh my God. I saw that movie. Holy shit. I saw that Banana Split movie. What the fuck was that? I saw that and I was like, is that a real property? Like, is that real?
Garth, I know Garth is old enough to remember Banana Splits in its proper form, but like
it was real?
Yeah, it was a real show, and then they decided to do a horror movie version of it that really didn't play, from what I understand.
No, I saw that movie. I just caught it on Sci-Fi, and I was like, what the fuck? I watched the whole thing. Eric fell asleep, but I watched it.
Well, I want to do the Pulpit Pals horror movie about the church puppets that come to life. So,
yeah, I don't even, you know what's weird about the movie? I don't think they come to life. I think it's kind of like the new Child's Play. I think it turns out that they're animatronic. Like,
right. They get programmed to kill everybody.
They should do that one, but for the what is it, animated Christian show? Oh, come on, guys! VeggieTales.
I got that. Yeah.
VeggieTales is, for some reason, the scariest thing I could think of, because I used to watch that show on LSD a lot. Yeah, I guess we're all amongst friends here. I used to get a shit ton of LSD in high school, like a shit. Like my brain is permanently fried from what I did when I was too young to like be able to drive. In fact, I took my driver's test on LSD and failed, and then tried it again and failed again.
Good for you.
Yeah, no, I learned, but basically I just learned eventually how to drive on LSD well enough to take my driver's test on LSD. Not a great way to live your life, people, but it was certainly super fun.
It's even better that you're recounting this over this footage.
Yeah, no, it really does help explain a little bit why I'm like this. Because I remember having this very weird experience at the end of high school of like taking drugs and then being like, oh shit, my SAT scores are going to come back soon. Then being like, man, how am I going to pay for college? And being like, wait, where am I going to like live? And like, how am I going to pay bills? And like, what is a mortgage? And how do I do laundry? And I was like, oh, I can never take this shit again. I was like, oh, I realized like I'm in a bubble of a high school experience in which my world is like pretty harmless. So we can do things like watch Evil Dead and then go and run around the woods all night scaring each other on immense amounts of psychedelics. And like, that's fine. And no one's going to get hurt. And like, we're all good because we're a bunch of like little cloistered white kids.
Now, did this happen in the Burkittsville, Maryland woods, or did this happen in Delaware?
Did. Okay. Yeah, it did happen in not Burkittsville, but Columbia, Maryland woods. We would have to cross through Mark Ellis's backyard to get there, which I just found out recently. Mark Ellis and I shared a backyard growing up. Not at the same time. He moved before I moved in there, but literally we looked on like Google Maps and it turns out, yeah, our house is like, I would cross his property every day to get into the woods. Weird connection, right? Isn't that like super fucking weird? So I realized at some point, like, oh, I can't take this anymore. Like this very like weird experience where I was like, I can't take this anymore. I think I just had my wisdom teeth out. And I was like, I'm going to shave my head. And that's going to be the last time I ever take LSD. And my God, it was. It's like I decided to do all the bad decisions because I was like, this is the end of my childhood, basically. This is the end of like me being able to do anything without like having existential like panic attacks about it. And like, you do not want to be having an existential panic attack on too much LSD.
No, but I feel like that's why you know yourself so well at this point.
I do. You know what? That's maybe a very fair and accurate and astute statement, Adam. I seem to have a weird amount of self-awareness for someone who talks this much because I think I'm constantly like somewhat divorced, being like, oh, okay, I know why I'm doing this. I know why I'm doing this bad idea. It's because of LYZ.
Well, I mean, I the less we know about this video that's playing, the better. I mean, I know that there's subtitles, but they're basically meaningless because. Yeah,
I know AJ has been watching it. I just wanted to like bring up another one of these just because I think it makes great background for this show. I feel like you said, this is getting very good into, oh, sorry, let me stop sharing. This is getting very good into like why I'm like this. If people can just like see what's going on in the background of my brain of all times, it's cool they're letting you do this now.
Shay St. John explains a lot.
Yeah. But like some stuff really turned me off. Like I remember South Park with its animation style and the voices. I didn't like it when they did those fake drag voices, like just in general. Like I don't like when guys do those like, hi, or like Cartman's voice like bugged me. Like it just, something about it like just grates my ear and like almost a Mesopotamia. Is that what you call it? Mesopotamia? The thing where like
Mesopotamia.
No, not Mesopotamia. I'm like triggered by mouth sounds sometimes.
Mesothelioma? No, that's the CNN.
It's very close. It's something like misophonia is how it ends because, of course, it's like a fear of.
The correct answer is banana splits.
You've got it, and VeggieTales. I also really didn't like Moral Oral because I was like, I didn't grow up with this Rudolph bullshit. Like, I didn't like any of this like claymation, I guess. Gumby freaked me out.
Gumby is kind of freaky. I mean, like the Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer special was I think my first memory of something that was stop motion. And there are things to this day about that special that kind of just feel like a little off in a creepy way. And I get what you mean. Where did you land on Anomalisa? Did you see that?
Oh, I liked Anomalisa, but I like anything that he does. You know,
but by design, a lot of that animation is off-putting, especially some of the ways they deconstruct their actual puppets and whatnot.
Absolutely. I liked Anomalisa. I like because specifically I like the Tom Noonan in this stop motion animation thing with David. It's just 3 voices. It's David Thewlis, Jennifer Jason Leigh, and Tom Noonan, and Tom Noonan's playing all the other characters. It's basically that Being John Malkovich scene of Malkovich, but it's just audio. Like this guy basically is living a life. He's a lecturer, and he's like going from conference to conference, and all he can hear is everyone else in the world sounding like Tom Noonan. Like everyone else in the world sounds like various different versions of Tom Noonan. And he can't hear anybody else's voice as like singular or discrete. And so he's kind of like, it's almost like a flatness for him. But Tom Noonan isn't doing like girl voices like, oh, hi, blah, blah. Like he's doing a soft voice. Like he's doing like how you really do it if you're trying to speak like a woman. Like he like softens his voice and he like talks like this a little bit. And he just is like a little bit more gentle with his words. And then it's just really good. And I feel like that's A, more authentic, and B, like less off-putting for me, like in my ears to hear. Misophonia. Oh, I just added a couple extra syllables.
Garth coming in with the knowledge here.
Yeah, let me grab somebody real quick, see where they are. I will be right back. Then here's yours.
Yeah, this tonight's episode is not brought to you by mesothelioma. Or the many medications associated with it that also give you psoriasis and diarrhea and everything else.
Okay. You might want to bring on your guest because mine is feeling a little sleepy. I was just informed.
Okay. Well, I am going to make a small request that you vamp for 30 seconds, and I will be right back.
Guys, what do you think about my house dress? It's called a nap dress, actually, and it's very cool. It's just a big dress you can wear all the time, and it's not see-through. So when you go to the CVS wearing it and the guy at the pharmacy won't give you your Xanax prescription, you can start screaming and be totally clear that you are not wearing something that is sheer and see-through. You just look like a crazy woman, but you can go, no, this is not a house dress. I didn't put a coat over a house dress to come to the CVS and yell at my Xanax prescription. This is specifically a nap dress created for occasions like going to CVS to yell about your Xanax prescription. Don't do drugs, kids. This is a series, by the way, where a man who only thinks in like in his mind, you can only hear his thoughts, lives in a universe where it's a stage and it's just him, the food, and he's just thinking about his life and he's thinking these very like weird monosyllabic thoughts, and it's a game. It's a weird alternate reality game that you can play along with. And this guy is going to break it down for you. This Nightmind guy talking over the video. It's very cool. So yeah, I mean, I wish there were more stuff like online that were sort of like that, because for me, the internet formative pop culture stuff was so good, but I can't, and there's stuff like this all over the internet. Like,
hey,
hey, what's up?
I have a very special guest.
Yeah, let's bring her. Hey, Marisol.
Hey, I'm here.
Hey, we're just watching some Nightmind and some creepy.
Marisol is very well acquainted with Nightmind, right?
Oh, she is. Oh,
she's as acquainted as I am. VideoDREW.
Oh, like which is not that much.
Yeah. By very well acquainted, he means not in the foggiest. So.
Look, you're a champion. You don't need to be watching weird internet videos and taking up your mind space with whatever.
I guess not anymore.
Well, they are. I mean, give them time. They're probably going to make the strong bad Homestar Runner movie.
Well, look, Slenderman was actually. Oh God, I'm off camera again. I don't know why this is. Let me refresh.
Oh, hey.
Oh.
So, Marisol, to catch you up, we've been talking about Homestar Runner. We've been talking about Shay St. John, which you know very well.
And I have a new one, Slenderman. Slenderman's the one that made the jump from internet to horrifying real life true crime case to terrible Joey King movie.
Yeah. So, Marisol, do you remember the first time you heard of Slenderman?
The thing on HBO.
Anything about it. Like just the existence of that concept or that meme.
You did documentary
on HBO.
The documentary about the crime about where the girls went and did they kill or almost kill like a friend of theirs?
They almost killed her.
I think
they almost killed her. Okay.
They attacked her, and they intended to, and She survived, and then they were put on trial.
And they said that they did it for Slenderman, who was a internet creepypasta. I'm not sure. I'm always a little bit confused about the terms creepypasta and No Sleep, whether they're proprietary, because creepypasta began on 4chan, No Sleep began on Something Awful. But creepypasta is just kind of the term we have for like collective fan fiction, or like not fan fiction, collective unfiction, I think is what they call it, where it's sort of like no one person is in charge of the story. People are just taking this internet mythos and sort of building onto it, just adding on whatever they want. SCP is another great example of that. It's just sort of like a Wikipedia for a universe of monsters.
It's like internet urban mythology. Yeah, it's the continuation of, we all remember the movie Urban Legends, the movie that Jared Leto claims he didn't make.
Oh my God, I talk about Urban Legends way too often. I love that movie.
Robert Englund's great.
Yeah, that movie's great.
But you remember Jared Leto saying,
I don't remember him disowning it. No.
Well, the very short version is he was being interviewed, and I forget who interviewed him, but that person asked him, "Hey, remember Urban Legends? People like that movie." And he's like, "Excuse me?" He said, "Yeah, you were in Urban Legends. Rebecca Gayheart, Joshua Jackson, a lot of people."
Joshua Jackson was in it. Okay, yeah. Good. I was playing 6 Degrees of Separation the other day.
And he's like, I don't know what you're talking about. And I said, I remember this. You were in it. And he's like, I didn't do that.
During Catalano back in the day, post during Catalano, I buy that he doesn't remember being in Urban Legends. Like, I buy that he doesn't remember that. But yeah, the unfiction world, like the SCP world, really got started. I feel like the scary stuff, as far back as I know, really did get started with Slenderman. I know he's like considered like the pappy of this whole thing, the paterfamiliar of this creepy internet stuff, but that's only because he was. It began as part of Photoshop Friday, which was something on the Something Awful forums, and that was something I was very well aware of. Something Awful was the first internet site that I ever went on, that I used to visit consistently. It was like Clickhole. They had like cover stories every day that people like Dr. David Thorpe and some other writers would write, but it was like hilariously funny. Their sense of humor was just like mine. It was all irreverent, weird, and like also a little bit like could be a little bit mean. Like they would like spam other people's web forums and just like tear forums completely apart just by like picking them up and like putting them on their, like just making fun of them and putting them on the front page. But Slenderman was something they created basically on one of their Photoshop Fridays where they were like, put something scary into Photoshop, like Photoshop a picture that could be real and make it look like an old timey photo, but creepy. So this is what they did. Somebody, and again, this person's name is like lost to time. I guess not lost, but like no one cares. This person created these 2 images. Sorry. Oh my gosh. Know your meme. Get better. Be better. There we go. There's one.
I remember that one.
And then there's a second one he did, which I believe is this one. Yep, there's the second one. See, that's him in the background. So that's where Slenderman began. It's just like a Photoshop thing. Very clearly, like not even an urban legend, because it's like trace backable to a real like prompt, like more so than anything else. It was trace backable to like someone creating it because they were given a prompt. And sorry. I love what it went from there. Like I love what it did. I loved like I loved the creepypasta's culmination, besides like the murder stuff. That's terrible. And don't do that, folks. Not even on LSD. But I think I love like what Channel Zero is. Like I love the idea of like taking these internet memes and turning them into narratives that are sort of self-contained and anthological. Is that a word?
Anthologized.
Anthologized, but I think anthological should be a word.
I'm with you on that.
Gwyneth Paltrow doesn't even, I don't remember her being in a Spider-Man movie. What am I missing? Was she in a Spider-Man movie?
Oh yeah, she's in Homecoming, but like in an interview she said at some point like she didn't realize she was in that movie. Like they recorded that scene at the end and I don't think she realized it was for a Spider-Man film.
No, you must get so confused when you're like recording these Marvel things. You're like, is this for a movie or for a stinger in like somebody else's movie?
Yeah.
I mean, it's confusing to me. Marisol, what were some early sites that you went to?
For me, I'm pretty basic. MuggleNet was always like when I was really like discovering the internet. MuggleNet, which is still going strong, even like whatever, like 24 years later.
Was this around the time Harry Potter came out, like the first Harry Potter movie?
Even it predated the movies. It was like the late 90s, like the really late 90s. I think it started like a couple years after the first books were released. And that was my homepage every day when I got online. I don't really have very many interesting answers. Of course, E-Bombs World, because who wasn't on E-Bombs World?
Loved E-Bombs World.
But the one that I got really into, which I still not as much because it's kind of changed over this years, but one of the sites I really, really loved and was on religiously was pajiba.com.
Oh my god, Pajiba.
Yeah.
God, I haven't heard that phrase in like a very long time.
Right?
I don't think I've ever actually heard it said out loud. I always pronounced it Pajiba, but I guess Pajiba works.
I used to say Pajiba, but then then I read like over the years, like one of the articles, like one of the writers wrote, I think it was just like the editor, I think it was like Dustin Rolls. He wrote like it's pronounced, or it either is on like their like masthead on the site.
Yeah.
They were just like it's pronounced Pajiba or something like that. Like they put specifically how.
Glad that they need to clarify that. That site was just like a collection of other links, right? Or am I thinking of? I'm confusing.
It has become it's changed. Their focus has broadened. Like they diversified a lot over the years. But they used to just be usually just like book reviews and film reviews, like film critics. Cool. Like it used to be kind of exclusively like book reviews, kind of book like essay topics, and strictly film critique.
Like
and the writers,
Pitchfork,
yeah.
But for other stuff.
Yeah, and the writers, it was like crack for me because the writers were just so razor sharp. Like it's just this like absolutely acerbic wit. And just really razor sharp. And the writing was just so tight and like and really sarcastic, but very, very well informed.
There was places on the internet to do that, like back in the day. I used to get paid to do that kind of stuff, like paid to write blogs is something like it's still insane to think about. Like I was paid a good amount of money along with some fellow writers like Cord Jefferson, who wrote the Watchmen TV show and some other great things. Just like good writers were paid a lot of money to write internet content. Hold on one second. I'll be right back. Keep telling this story, Marisol.
No, the site has just diversified a lot over the years, and they kind of broadened. Their writing staff has changed like a lot, like since then, and they naturally, and they broadened and they just kind of do more, just kind of pop culture, and they got way more political. They started putting like political think pieces, and now they become kind of just a collection of pop culture dissection, like essays, like what a lot of sites are nowadays, where you find like a go-to site that just has like, here's how you keep up to the minute with like everything happening in pop culture, whether it's film, movies, television, politics, what have you. Yeah. And here's our take on it.
Yeah, the internet has become something very different than what it used to be. And that's true. Great statement, Drew. But like very obvious. But I think it used to be way more niche. Like there is still ways to be niche on the internet, like I said, but it's more about like being able to be versatile on your platform use. Like there's ways to be completely creative and write long form essays about film on Letterboxd, on Tumblr, like on these things. But like it's almost like you have to find the entrance to the rabbit hole almost. And it's pretty hard to do, let alone find it for like every single platform that you go on.
It's funny how Reddit has come around to be this it really when I browse through Reddit and I'm able to like lock in on certain things, not just the Schmoedown, but like other stuff, it is kind of great how Reddit at its best is a return to form of what I liked about early internet culture.
Yeah, it's just going wherever you want and then like picking a thing and getting real deep on it.
Yeah, and not having frills and ads and things thrown in your face, and just having like just honest like conversation that you can refer back to, and that's something like, I'll be honest, getting into the Schmoedown reintroduced me to Reddit because I hadn't really used it.
Me too.
Yeah,
Me
and then
too.
I realized like, oh yeah, I can dig into Reddit for like other things too. And
the only thing I did on Reddit was No Sleep. That was the only thing I liked.
No Sleep?
Yeah, because I think like really great writers have come out of No Sleep. Like truly great. The people like C.J. Walker, who helped write Haunting of Hill House, came out of because of like Mike Flanagan reads No Sleep and really liked this one story and did an audio version of it. And then him and Katie Siegel picked up CJ as a writer for the show. I think it's a great place.
I have no idea what No Sleep was. That's the first time I've ever even hearing about it.
Oh, No Sleep is like it's one of these forums on Reddit where people write fiction stories or fiction horror. But the premise is it all has to be first person, and all of the commenters have to treat it as if it's real. So when you comment, you have to like, because a lot of these stories are ongoing. People have to like, if you're going to comment, like, I think this person should have done this, you have to phrase it almost like, have you tried like going and checking the thermometer? Like it's almost like makes it a game. Like, have you tried running out of the house? Have you tried asking the monster what it wants? Like you can't comment as if this is fiction. Essentially.
This is kind of neither here nor there, but something occurred to me about early internet usage. Something I remember this game I played. I remember finding this game, and it wasn't Celebrity Deathmatch, the MTV show. That was a separate. Speaking of claymation, but it was this thing where you could fight celebrities, but it was again this like crappy flash animation game where you had like, it was a POV game where you had like boxing gloves, and you would fight like celebrities that were topical from like the late 90s. So like you would beat up on
Tia Carrera or whatever her name was.
Thankfully she wasn't in the game. I that would have been a weird target, but like Bill Gates was on there. I remember, and then like tasteless things like I think like one of the boss fights I had to fight in that game was like Paula Jones or something. It was really bad, but like I just remember like playing that at my friend's house in his dad's office because he left his computer open, and I guess he'd been like just killing time like punching celebrities in a flash animation game, and I just remember clicking the mouse, and I remember like fighting celebrity after celebrity, and you punch them and get these comical black eyes and the teeth start falling out. It's really dumb.
Oh my God. Wait, I remember this. As soon as you started saying the black eyes and teeth falling out, of course, when you said the teeth falling out, that's when it all clicked. I remember this. It wasn't Celebrity Deathmatch. It was called, what was it called?
It was just some nerd created a quick flash animation game based on the Celebrity Deathmatch premise and gave you the satisfaction of clicking your way into beating up people who were annoying to some people at the time. I don't know why everyone was going after Bill Gates in like the late 90s. I mean,
no, I'm looking it up right now on the Wikipedia to see if I can find it.
It was fashionable to go after Bill Gates, right?
I think I can find it. I think I can find it if you give me.
I think it was just a screw him, he's rich type of thing. Yeah.
It's Bill Gates. Yeah, we like doing that.
There was Gates.
We didn't know how easy we had it back then. Yeah.
I want to bring up something that again is not on topic necessarily.
Gates cured malaria, and Bezos rode a penis to the moon.
But he also gave us drones that deliver mail.
Yeah. Speaking of which, birds are drones.
I'm so happy. I'm so happy to find out that I was on top of a trend right before it hit the New York Times. That felt so good.
I told Marisol about this, and she's like,
I was like, what?
Well, I used to have a sign that said "Birds don't have careers" written in very scary looking font, like dripping blood kind of font.
Birds don't have careers?
Yeah, and it was a picture like in
Birds don't have Tia Carreras?
Tia Carrera. Yeah, no, it said birds don't have careers, and then the S in careers was sort of like scrawled off, like if somebody had been taken away while writing it, like sort of dragged away. And the picture it was set over was like a picture of a silhouetted bird, just like silhouetted on top of a very high telephone pole. And it was like a beautiful picture, but the text was so weird that it couldn't like you couldn't help but like stop and go, wait, does that like have some meaning? Like birds don't have careers? Like what does that imply? Is it supposed to be like, it's on its surface, it's just like a nice statement. Like animals don't have jobs. They just live their life.
I can't compute. That doesn't compute. I just rewatched Zootopia today, so like.
Yeah, they do. Well, yeah. So in your mind, they do have careers. They have like career.
Yeah, they're all gainfully employed. All of
yeah,
them.
they're all gainfully
Even
employed.
the smallest, whatever they call it, shrew.
True. And the hot bunny, the hottest of the bunnies, can have careers in that world.
Mm-hmm.
Guys, I want to bring up. This is from Something Awful. This was like one of their front page article things. They used to have these, they had Photoshop Friday, Comedy Goldmine articles. This was their Halloween SWAT, which was one of the funniest things I'd ever read, ever. Like 2005. Okay, so I was already in college, almost about to graduate. I was already a fan of the site, and then they came out with this guy. They're just going through pictures basically of just like terrible Halloween costumes. They're just like making fun of it. Dr. Thorpe and Zach. There's like, just like ragging on them basically. Marisol, here's your next costume idea.
Yes. There you go.
Yes.
Yeah.
I loved it when you kept calling her the Statue of Liberty.
Yeah, right. So there's not a whole lot to the Statue of Liberty costume. I have to give this one credit for fucking up every single element other than the torch. So these guys are just really funny. But what they did with this picture is next level. So just keep this picture in mind while I read you the following statements. I think possibly the coolest prank would be to put an ad on monster.com for some amazing job, like a corporate vice president, 7-figure salary, and they give some address for the applicants to come to. I'm going to take this off screen. The address is an old abandoned molasses factory, and then you just sort of cram it full of people wearing this costume. So when they open the door, they are confronted with like 20 or 30 of these. No desks or office equipment, just these guys standing around a molasses stained factory.
Oh, God.
And then, wait, but it goes on. I'm just going to try to get the picture up while I read from this fucking amazing thing. Like this piece of art, as far as I'm concerned. This is where this is where it all came from, guys. This picture. Then they go.
This fucking Potato Elvis here.
Banana Elvis, I think.
Banana Elvis?
Yeah, and then this guy goes, and maybe you can get 20. Sorry, go ahead.
She said, look at that dome.
I just look at the dome.
Yeah. And maybe you could get 20 or 30 old tape recorders with tapes of babies crying and hide them all around the place, playing baby screams at full volume. Yeah, and then the run up to the interview, all correspondence should be via email, and it should all have some weird foreign diction. Like they'll think you're Chinese or something. Then they realize the whole company is just a bunch of these. Definitely. And there should be a pink banner that says, welcome to the new death or something. Maybe it's all in caps. Or maybe just problem. Yeah, but with one of those question marks. And there should be really tinny music playing, like 1920s big band music on a record player. And the guy just writes problem with one of those Spanish question marks, all in caps. He goes, when they first open the door, these guys are just kind of shuffling around. They're all doing things that people should do, but not quite. Like moving a broom awkwardly or just holding a telephone receiver that's not connected to anything. And when they see this guy coming in, they all just stop and stare and start wordlessly vocalizing in monotone. And you could have a framed employee of the month pictures by the entrance. They could all just be like turn of the century family portraits. The kind of posthumous baby shots. But it's just Banana Elvis.
This sounds, I mean, all of like everything that I love about Clickhole, everything I love about all of this culture we're describing. This is what I think they seized upon when Bill Hader was doing the Stefan bit on Weekend Update. Like,
yeah, Mulaney. Yeah, right.
I think Bill Hader's always had a knack for this sense of humor, and I love that bit with Stefan because of the randomness and the visuals he conjures, and what he describes, and everything you described about going to a molasses factory where people are in costumes and all this shit, and they're all
backstory. Yeah, like the level of detail.
Stefan, for sure.
I just think, that was the early internet. Like, and that's like what I just respect about it. It's just taking that one image and just riffing for like incredible, like painting an incredibly visual picture of the situation of like these Banana Elvises in a factory and just wordlessly monotoning like the word, a banner flutters in the wind that comes from nowhere that says problem in all caps with like the Spanish question mark in the front and then a regular question mark in back, while some old tinny music plays in the background, and it's just an employee of the month photo. And you think you're getting this great job, and that is the funniest prank to play on someone. That is it. That's the funniest one. We did it.
If you don't mind, I will do a brief plug for a friend of mine's short film he did in college called Epic Yams.
Okay.
I showed this to Marisol not too a little while ago, but anyway, it was his senior thesis film, and he and I jived with the same nonsense humor. And he said, "Hey, I want to do this short film, where a guy and all his crazy friends go on a mission that makes no sense, and they treat it like
bonsai."
So basically, the idea was this guy wants to find all the squids in town and turn them into soda.
Squids like octopuses?
He wants to find all the squids in town and turn them into soda. And if they don't do it in time, then his best friend's going to turn into a pizza. And then hilarity ensues. And I got to play a chauffeur in it.
Nice.
Which was a lot of fun. I will send you a link, and I
want to see that.
Yeah, I can't do it justice on the air describing it. It's something that needs to be experienced, but it's wonderful. There are giant praying mantises in it. There's a scene where a man describes his master plan for a mission while spreading peanut butter over a shoe.
Yes, that is my shit.
Yes,
just like it did get to a level with the internet where I was like, it's all like people caught on, and then it became like this weird thing where like everything was just random for random's sake. You had to have like a through line. Like what I love about Nightmind or Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared, or like any of the creepy stuff that I've been showing you tonight is that it wasn't just people saying nonsense words, although that in itself is pretty terrifying. It wasn't just like aphasia or like word salad or anything. It was like there was a through line to be had. There's a narrative you can like follow, but it was just like out of the mind of a crazy person. Like this thing, Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared. Like it's just there was a lot of time and effort and meticulous planning put into like making the craziest stuff possible. And this is all a song, by the way. They're all singing. Like this is a song about being creative and how green is not a creative color. So X. He's like the whole messaging of this show is so crazy, and on the surface, it's just like random. It seems like, but that guy Nightmind does a good job breaking down how it's actually about British advertising on television, kids television in the 1960s when they switched over the formula from being all public access shows in Britain. So all the kids shows were like public access shows to being like our model for television. So they started getting advertisers, and the advertisers started putting their messaging and sloganeering and products in the TV shows. So this show, this little cartoon, or like not cartoon, puppet thing, is actually a demonstration of like the corruption of a kid's concept with advertising and outside like adult influences. And I was like, well, where the fuck did that come from? I've watched the series so many times. I never got that. But it's just, I mean, I guess it's just the theory, but it's a very good and plausible theory. He has a lot of data to back him up. Like, it's just, that's why I think you'd really like him, Adam, that Nightmind guy, because it's just like incredibly investigative and like well determined and well thought. Kind of thing I could never do myself, because I'm like, it's funny, they're puppets.
Honestly, though, like, this is giving me Candle Cove vibes from Channel Zero.
Yes.
And I love just a basic primer for anyone who's unfamiliar. Candle Cove is season 1 of Channel Zero, and the basic premise is guy returns to his town he grew up in. He grew up watching this creepy public access puppet show, and all the other kids liked it. And he's had dreams about it his whole life. And he goes back to his hometown, and kids are starting to go missing again. And the show has started to come back on the airwaves. And only kids can figure out how to watch it.
So
yeah. And when you actually see the footage of the show, it's not terrifying, but it's unnerving, and the puppet designs are so creepy and wonderful. It
was based on by the way, higher. We're talking about early internet. It's basically, like all of Channel Zero, it's based on a creepypasta. So that's like a unfiction thing that was over at 4chan, their version of it. And so the Candle Cove is a story that's told very interestingly. Like, this is genius creative storytelling. It was done as if it was a JPEG of a message board. Like, someone had just screenshotted a message board. And the message board started with somebody being like, hey, does anyone else remember this weird public access show? And like somebody else was responding to like that person going like, yeah, like I kind of remember it didn't have like a creepy skeleton puppet and like didn't have all these elements. And somebody was responding to that. It's just a story someone wrote, but the way they wrote it was like in the phrasing and the narrative structure of the internet. So it seemed like a bunch of people were talking about like the same show, and then realizing that the show never existed, and their parents were just saying they were staring in front of a blank screen that was like playing static. So Channel Zero as a concept is just every season takes a different creepypasta or a scary story from the internet and like turns it into a narrative. And that's very cool.
Can we, just while I'm thinking of it, can we talk about the Stairs to Nowhere thing? Because isn't there a movie coming out about that?
Yeah, I mean, that's Nick Acosta. That's the third season of Channel Zero. That was
because that was the third season. But like, there's a new movie coming out about stairs that go to nowhere. Like
very creepy image. It's very creepy image.
People go out in the middle of the woods and there's these stairs that go up and they just stop. But
now that one is interesting because it's not just a story. It is literally, God, I think the original writer wrote like 7 or 8, because the narrative of that one is it is a park ranger and he is relaying to you what other park rangers have told him about different staircases that go to nowhere and like what happens to the people.
Different ones.
Yeah, there's them all over the world. And so different park rangers have been writing into him. Sure. Different park rangers have been writing into him and he's just relaying their stories like to you. He's never experienced one because to experience one would have to kill off the narrator, and that would be very hard to do in a story where the whole story has to be first person.
Okay.
But it's very cool because I like that because you can change the location of it. Like, and then I think he stopped doing it, or it didn't matter whether the original writer, decided to keep doing it or not. Other people took over and other people made it their thing and turned it into like their fiction. And that's like kind of the beauty of unfiction.
Yeah.
King Pearls, what did you miss? Man, I don't know. How to catch you up.
Dude, you're going to have to start back at the beginning, but it's good to see you.
And thank you for your donation, by the way, Poot Shoot. Right, I did see it. I am having trouble loading my Streamlabs tonight, so I will read your tip out loud as soon as I can figure it out. I will do that in a minute.
Oh no.
But is there anything like you guys stumbled onto? I know Click Adventures is just our jam. Clickhole is our jam. The Onion, it's funny enough, The Onion never did it for me, but Clickhole, which is like the random, like the weird kind of The Onion. It's The Onion without any context. I don't know what else to call it. Like, it's just weird The Onion.
I have a lot to say about Clickhole, but real quick, what were you going to say?
Oh, yeah, no, Onion is great. I feel like one of the original, which you got me thinking about it when you're talking about like that, even with the no sleep thing about people sharing, like one of the earliest, I think one of the earliest ways early on that I kind of discovered ways that the internet would connect us like creatively, again, is something related to Harry Potter. But when I was young in the very early 2000s, a site called portkey.org really popular, and people would post their creative. It was a fan fiction site, you know, which there are zillions of fan fiction sites at this point, but like that was my into like that universe of fan fiction sites, and it was a Harry Potter fan fiction site, and that like I wrote that site like inspired me to do so much creative writing when I was growing up.
Really?
Because people were writing these amazing stories, posting it. People were critiquing it, and right there on the internet.
Them for the Fantastic Beasts films.
Seriously,
yeah, for real.
Like right there, people were critiquing. Like fans, just other fans from all over the world, were just giving feedback, relaying feedback. Like who needs? I mean, who needs an editor? Yeah. You know, like people were just critiquing and feeding back information. People were changing their stories or re-releasing their fan fiction. And I became hooked and obsessed with I never posted any of my own fan fiction on the site, but I became obsessed with some of these people. It was just like these people just needed to get signed, like to get published somewhere, because they
deserved it.
They deserved it, but it was really just exciting. I had never thought about the internet being used for that. I just thought it was just a place for gaining information at that point, and I hadn't realized it was just the potential of like being able to just create the creative potential, the way to establish like ultimate creativity and interactive creativity, build a community around it online. I got like overwhelmed very early on by the fan fiction stuff, because I was like, oh no, other people are better at writing than I am.
And I have to like kind of live in a universe where I actually don't consume that much media because I'm like, I get very self-conscious about my own stuff and end up like getting writer's block, but and end up not creating things. So, but I was big into like
that was my entire film school career.
I like it. I'm terrible at like now creating stuff. I was describing West Side Story to my mom today over text, telling her the differences. I loved West Side Story, the new West Side Story. So good.
We haven't seen it yet, so.
Oh my God. I mean,
excited to see it.
Might be my number one of 2021. And I don't really like Spielberg, like particularly, and I don't
But
love
you
West Side
appreciate
Story.
good musicals, so I'm excited.
Yeah, but I don't appreciate, like, I don't love West Side Story as like historically. Like, I don't like appreciate it in any particular way. It just is what it is. It's Sondheim's first musical that he wrote the lyrics to. It is what it is. But the movie itself is the most gorgeous thing I've ever seen. I can't believe that Spielberg at his age pulled this off. It's great. But I was talking to my mom about it, and she just goes, "You write so beautifully. Like, why aren't you writing anymore? Like, the world misses your voice." And I'm like, nope. And don't say that, please, because like I'm consuming media at this point. I don't like to like consume and output it. Like, I can't do both, and I'm choosing to like consume.
Your mother is right, Drew.
Thank you.
Respectfully. So follow your gut.
Thank you. Well, from Poot Shoot Riot, just wondering when we were going to see the Schmoedown wrestlers that Adam created to fight.
Oh, okay. Well, let me pull up a little tease because I think I have a little VideoDrew versus Lady Justice.
Do you want to email? If you email me a link or something, I can put it up on the screen.
Oh God, yeah. Let me work on that.
Okay.
Talk amongst yourselves for a second. Let me sort this out.
Eric, come tell us about the internet and you.
If we could play copyright music, we should play "Welcome to the Internet."
Yeah, we should be. We couldn't though. But cool. You know what? We can play videos without sound.
Can we?
Yeah. So I've been just been putting on "Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared" and other stuff in the background.
I like how you just pulled it. Whatever that banana.
Elvis. Wow! God damn it, Eric! You missed it. Banana Elvis is formative. Banana Elvis is. You know what? If you check your text messages, you would see what Banana Elvis was a reference to.
Oh, from earlier, yeah.
Banana Elvis is my gateway into the kind of humor writing. And I think the internet really, really succeeds it. It basically was this fashion SWAT that Something Awful did, where these two guys just like went in on different terrible Halloween costumes. But what they did to this Banana Elvis is like create a short story.
Poor Banana Elvis.
It's so disturbing. They come up with this prank idea of like having a bunch of these Banana Elvises like in a old molasses factory, and then putting an ad on monster.com to like have somebody interview for a job there. But when they get to the factory, it's just a bunch of Banana Elvises. And there's a giant sign. And it just says problem with one of those upside down Spanish question marks.
Any questions?
They're all standing over a drum barrel on fire and doing like weird things like pushing a broom or talking into a receiver that's not connected. And then they all start to make an atonal noise. And anyway.
All right, Drew, I sent one video should have come through already and another one's on the way. They're both relatively brief.
Oh, I can play them. I'm so excited. Can I play them with audio? Is that allowed?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. By the way, thank you, Poop Shoot Riot, because that just got us our first look at this. Let's see, where is it? You emailed it to me, right?
Or I texted it to you.
Oh, can you email it to me? Because I just don't.
Sure.
I'm on PC. Thank you.
Okay.
Let's see. I'm really excited to see this, guys. This is our first glimpse into the much, much highly anticipated.
At least in action, right?
Right. Well, we've seen a little bit of it.
We've seen the tech demos.
Did Marisol win? I haven't seen the spectacular. Well, would you want us to know? Do you want us to tell you?
I mean, it's available. Like King Portal, you can watch it for free.
King's Pearl, do you mean you just woke up like in a Rip Van Winkle kind of way? Like you just woke up from like a week's sleep? No judgment. I used to fall asleep
like a coma from like 3 months ago. Is Marisol still champion?
When I used to fall asleep for like days at a time because I hadn't slept for days at a time. My ex-husband used to call it sleep coma, and he'd be like, "She's in one of the sleep," and like he literally meant it. Like you could not wake me up. Like you could not wake me up, and I would be gone for days at a time. They couldn't contact me at work, and I'd wake up and I'd be like, "Are things still the same? Did the universe change?" And what's funny is if I did that today, like you would never be able to catch me up.
Yeah, but I mean, it's like, it's one of those things where, like I said, the show's available. I would suggest watching it because it's a great show. It's even though it's like 7 hours long.
Oh God, was it as long? Was it happening in real time? They didn't edit it.
Yeah, it's just a stream. It's a stream that was aired for the pay-per-view.
I'm gonna try to pull this up on my text.
I didn't have. I'm sending them through on Twitter DM first.
Gotcha.
Is that okay?
Yeah, that's perfect.
They're relatively short. Yeah, I'm not sending the long ones. I'm working on developing the skills for all the different Schmoedown competitors so that the AI fights are more interesting, because right now I'm working on just building the physical characters.
Yeah.
And I have to go back through and individualize all their different like movements and stuff so that when they fight, it's more interesting, because right now, like when I build them all, they all have the initial same moves. And if I spent time on their moves every time I build a new character, it would take forever to get through everybody. Yeah. So like I care more about getting the physical characters built and building up the roster, because, you know, within the next few months, I would love to start generating. Okay, here we go.
This is ready, guys. Poop Shoot, this is for you. I'm going to put the audio on, so hopefully. We appreciate you, man. Let's see. By the way, this is exactly a dress that I own that you didn't even know I owned this dress, but there are photos of me at a George Soros event wearing literally an identical dress. I
made an approximation of a dress you wore like in a match once. That was what I was trying to do.
Oh, yeah. I don't think I own that. The dress this looks like is the one I don't own anymore.
Backstage, it looks like we have a brawl on our hand.
You forgot my tattoos, Adam. Wow, the triangle.
We should get Christian to commentate this a little bit.
Oh shit! Oh, Marisol just fucking ripped me. Oh shit! My face. Is it okay? Look, wait. There's a second video, guys. Dang.
All right, the second one is me and Dan Merle in a cage match.
You punched his butt.
Yeah.
Look at Dan. God, I know it's so funny. Like, even without knowing who these people are, like I would immediately know if I was like a Schmoedown fan, I would immediately know who was playing.
Yeah. I mean, Dan's look is iconic.
So is Adam's. That looks just like Adam. Like, you did these so well.
There's more on the way. Wait till I show you Lon versus Yama. That's a good one.
Whoa. Very nice.
What was that?
Yeah.
Yeah, oh shit. Adam, you won. I like how in both these matches, like probably like they would in real life, but Adam and Marisol obviously like
the matches aren't finished yet. Those are just little snippets. But yeah, you know.
Oh, don't look at my DMs, guys. Do you have the ladder one?
What's that? Oh, the ladder one? Yeah. Stand by.
Guys, I'm so excited.
Punching in that one.
There's so much butt punching. So much. So good.
So what are you thinking? So how did you say you're thinking of doing this? Like for each person without having to individualize the moves?
Well, like what I do is I build the characters, and then because the AI matches are what I eventually want to, I'd love us to start like seeing, like sharing more of these, like, you know, when we can. Mm-hmm. The matches themselves take 5 to 10 minutes to play out. And if the characters have the same moves, it's very boring. So mm-hmm. I have to go back and I just change their move sets up a little bit, and I randomize it so that when they do fight, it's more entertaining and they're doing crazy stuff.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Wow. All right. Here is the ladder clip. It's coming through. This is pretty great. Very proud of this. And I'll see if I can. Does anyone want to see the 20-second clip of Jacob Blunden fighting Andre the Giant in the Big Show at the same time?
Yep.
Yes.
Like just as good answer to all this is yes.
I feel so bad for Blunden in this clip, but it's pretty funny. It's pretty funny.
So you can't randomize this, right? Like this is all real. I mean, not real. This is all how the computer. The opposite. The opposite. This is all.
Wrestling is real.
Wrestling is real. This is all how the internet plays out. Like the AI. Like, you don't determine who wins, or they do, or do you?
No, you don't determine it unless you're playing. What I do is I put them both on AI, and I just see where it goes.
So, like Schmoedown, it is totally random, unlike wrestling.
Right.
Can't predict
the story.
Here we go. So this is me and Marisol fighting again on a ladder this time. You do have to get Christian narrating.
You're just slapping shit.
Man, you
Yeah.
messed me up.
Shit.
Damn.
Why is that letter so tall?
What, do you think it's a claw game or what?
Wait, I think it is a claw game. And they're gonna send me some cookies. Oh shit. So is the rest of the video is Miracle dead?
I think you killed me.
Fiddling with his face.
Is this like Legends of the Hidden Temple? Do I need to get it down?
I think you killed me.
I think you're dead, Marisol.
I'm not breathing.
I got it. I didn't like that this took me
one.
that took me a realistic amount of time to get that thing unlatched from the belt. That is hilariously how much time it would take me, and everyone would just have to be there like.
And you'd just be
All right, and then the last clip, I couldn't get the clip of Blunden fighting the Big Show and Andre the Giant, but I did get one of a bunch of Schmoedown competitors fighting Satan.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who's Ben from The Office? Like, am I crazy? There's no character named Ben?
No. He's talking about Ben from Parks and Rec. It was a typo.
Oh yeah, the Sons of Dunshire. Yeah.
All right, so we'll end with this clip. I want to stop while we're ahead.
Yeah.
Someone said, did the clip come about after Star Wars was eliminated?
After Star Wars was eliminated.
I don't know.
Not sure.
Not sure what you mean by that, but
Elaborate, William.
talk more and slower. Just kidding. Pooh Shoot, this is all thanks to you. We're getting this because of you. Let's see. Start sharing screen. Okay, here we go. Here's a bunch of us. Okay, let's see if I can figure it out. We got
Dan's passed out outside the ring.
You're passed out in the ring.
I'm passed out in the ring. Bibbs is climbing into the ring.
Oh, there he is.
Yep. And then there's the devil. And then we got
I want to say Kaiser.
No, I think we got Chance and Blunden in there.
And they're fighting Satan. Okay,
Yeah.
so that's not Kaiser. Let's just be clear. Okay.
We need a Kaiser next.
Great job escaping, trying to turn this thing around.
Oh, and James White is out there fighting Bibbs.
Jacob is seen if you're okay.
Yeah.
So polite. Oh, and then okay. And then he attacks.
Satan went down easy, like a little bitch.
Chance of like the power of Christ compels you.
Chance tried to.
Oh, I think I see Ben Bateman down there.
Oh no, that's Bateman.
Oh, actually, I think that might be Kalinowski.
Is that Mike?
What is Mike?
Oh no,
Oh.
it's Jew's nightmare. She can't tell them apart.
Yeah, this is what happened to me when I first joined Schmoedown.
I'm gonna tweak Mike so he and Bateman look more different. The sunglasses didn't help.
I was not able to tell Mike apart from Ben originally. I need to see that again.
For like a whole year.
For a whole year, I thought they were the same guy.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's racist.
Well, no, it's just racist. All those white guys look the same to me. What am I supposed to say?
I'm kidding. It's okay.
All those white dudes look the same.
No, I'm kidding.
So this is but a taste. I'm still working on building the roster and perfecting the moves here, but we got a lot of good stuff on the way, guys.
And like, how long does it take to render one of these?
I can make the characters. I can make any given character I can knock out in about 15 to 20 minutes, but then the perfecting the entrances and the moves is what takes longer.
Like, how do you get everyone's face to look like so much like their face?
Well, I'm doing for caricatures, so if you zoom in on the characters, like it's less and less similar if you're like doing a side-by-side comparison, but it's about making them look like us when they're fighting like this. Capturing our essence. Yes.
It is about the essence. Can I be honest? It is. Like, I can tell immediately who every single person in this photo is, besides Satan, who I thought was Kaiser.
When I showed Dan his entrance, he was like, how did you make me move like that? He's like, that's me. I'm like, I don't know. I just
shuffle.
I cycle through entrances and then go with what works. But it's a fun and now it's the off season, so I'm gonna make a shit ton of these things.
Yeah, boy.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. William Harold's asking for Blunden.
Eric is next. I owe you. I gotta make you, buddy.
NerdChronic's just like from a high, like just editing everything. What do you have the Blunden one? I guess somebody's asking.
The what?
The Blunden versus Big Show versus.
Oh,
Blunden.
let me trim it down, and then I can send it on Twitter. It's just a little long, so give me a
If
second.
you want to send like the long version over, then guess what? I'll just play it in the background while we continue to like wrap up, I guess, or like Eric will tell us one internet thing.
When or anything?
Like, tell us the internet thing for you. What was your early internet?
Well, you already talked about SCP.
No, I didn't. Like, I literally very briefly
That's
blow up.
I guess that would be early internet for me. That would be like, I don't know, like 6 years ago or so.
So SCP, that's not early.
Yeah, it's not.
Oh, it's not early.
It's not early.
SCP, but explain it.
Well, I'll just explain some of my early internet stuff, which is like, you know, I think you also mentioned like Ebon's World, stuff like that. Just like, you know, growing up, I was into like stuff like that, like those video sites, which is like a bunch of like dumb videos of people doing dumb shit. But then I think I got personally involved in the internet at the like rise of YouTube and such, and before that because because I started watching my interest in like I think editing in general started with anime music videos. Like I started like watching those. I was back in like the early 2000s. That was like a super popular thing to do.
Nerd.
And so, but like, so I would, you know, edit like anime music videos with like other people online. But before YouTube was a thing, there was like this website. I can't remember exactly what it's called. It must have been called like animemusicvideos.net or like that. Something very simple.
We see edit with people.
And but like it was this community where people would make videos and upload them. But before YouTube was a thing where you upload regularly and very easily, we would have like a shared like FTP thing to upload to. So it was like FTP link to the client to download. Then you had to have like, you know, the correct like IP address to upload to it. And you upload the videos and like the people put it on the website under your name as like on your account on your profile. It's like, here's the videos that they've edited. So it was like a whole process to do before you could just upload things on YouTube. Just be like, upload, please send.
Wait, I love this though. It was like a collective, like a community.
Yeah, it was like it's a little online forum with like a thing where people could upload their videos to and like watch each other's like edits and stuff. And then YouTube came around. That's when like it became like, you know, super mainstream to make those stuff.
Can I tell them?
No.
I can't. Okay.
Yeah, I won't divulge the full information, but at one point I was the 30th most subscribed person on YouTube back in the early days.
That's all I was going to say.
Yeah, I would say like around like 2005 ish.
Eric was the 30th most subscribed person too on YouTube. Not under NerdChronic, but under a different name.
Yeah.
He just walked away from it.
Yeah.
Just one day he was
you were back. That's all the way back. Angry Video Game Nerd started in like 2004, right? He was one of the first like big ones that's still going.
Yeah, I remember being in high school when like my friend was like, "Have you heard of this thing called YouTube? Like, look, you could just like upload stuff and people have like all these random videos online."
How could you be in high school? Because I remember being out of college when I found that. Yeah. We're only 5 years apart. Oh god damn it! And that's how that works, guys. Time is a weird fucker.
Well, I was able to get the clip trimmed down.
Okay, let me
see. Now, disclaimer. The one thing that really sucks about this game is you can't make men and women wrestling.
Oh, you can't have men and women wrestle. Oh, so it's kind of like the Schmoedown. And that was like
it's how the Schmoedown should be.
You know, it's like a champion's path before a tournament. It's just all got to be ghettoized by gender, like Hasidic Jews having fucking praying time. Okay, let's do it. This one's gonna be great. I'm so looking forward to this. So men and women can't fight each other? What the fuck is that? Let's see. Here we go.
All right, so this is Jacob Blunden versus Andre the Giant in the Big Show in a handicap match.
Jacob. Let's see what we got here.
No.
People actually get hurt in wrestling?
Oh god, yeah.
People have died.
Yeah,
What?
People get paralyzed.
Stunts, but yeah. Whoa, Blunden. He's got his XXX5X shirt on, in case anyone can't tell. He's fighting back, though.
He's scrapping.
Look at this.
You
trying to just grab Andre from the back.
Andre the Giant.
Yeah, trying to toss Andre the Giant is bull move. Does he have like the power of what's the Chucky thing? Is it like the power of Dembala? He's got the power of Dembala that he's like fighting Jacob that hard.
Yeah, so there you go. Like we will get more. If people want to see more of this, we can make it happen. But I just wanted to give people a tease.
A whole show.
Can I be honest? Like, yeah, start up a Patreon and I will subscribe to that shit.
Well, the idea is I want to like record these matches, see how they play out at random, and then we just do live commentary.
Mm-hmm.
Just live commentary, like where
I love that. I think like the movie guys should also be involved in Christian.
Oh yeah,
we got to get Adam and Paul on to commentate a match for sure.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And I will make both movie guys, and I will make them in their original baseball tees, and let them be a team and fight each other.
Yeah, we could do dream teams, guys. Like, not just Tom versus the Wildberries, but like Tom versus, God. Or,
Yeah, if our audience starts requesting me to make these things, I will do it.
Well, please start a Patreon so we can at least pay you to make these things.
Yeah.
And then we can God,
everything
goes
awesome, through VideoDrew and VideoChronic.
Yeah, well, yeah, you can do that for today, but like put in your support to tell Adam to make these things.
Yeah.
If you want to pay my Patreon, that's definitely a thing you can do, but like just be aware that like you should be paying. Sorry, this is money that should be eventually going to Adam.
Or if you can convince VideoDrew to finally do a Twister VideoChronic quiz, then that will be payment enough.
Oh shit, we need to do that. We should do it. Feels like kind of in poor taste today, like right at this moment.
But I've been consistent about Twister, so
you haven't consistent about Twister.
But
Can
yeah,
I be honest? Yes, last night when I was reading about all the horrible tornado stuff, like the horrifying stuff that went on in the country yesterday.
If you don't know, look it up in the news. Donate to the Red Cross. Tornadoes happen, and they're still dangerous. But I love that movie.
Yeah, no, 100%. But
and
all
that movie's promoting the right message. Get people warning early.
I wasn't thinking about Twister last night. Adam, do you know what I was thinking of? Tornado! Exclamation point.
Jimmy Jams.
I was thinking about the tornado and the guy getting so angry and he's fighting the tornado and they're like, it's coming back. Like it's coming back to fight him more. Yeah. Like that's what the tornado from last night felt like. It was the longest tornado in U.S. history. Like it went on for 200 miles or something. It seemed like it was on a warpath. It went through 5 states. It didn't act like a tornado. It acted like a fucking monster, like a kaiju. All I could think about was that movie.
I know. Well, LQ Jones said in the movie, tornadoes got a black heart and a dead soul.
Yeah. He also said it's because of global warming, and that was true too. So
yes, that movie went hard on global warming in 1996, and it deserves credit for that. It really does. It's a TV movie, for God's sake.
It's Adam McKay joint, but like not laid on the boat on it.
Yeah.
Like tell us one more internet thing and then we'll hop off because we've been on here doing this for a little bit now. Yeah.
I mean, I'll just clarify again on SCP, which you had mentioned briefly before, which is just like it's like I got into it because of a friend of a friend, and it's basically just an online wiki database like a lot we have for everything now, but it's structured as like an in-world secret organization type thing, like SHIELD or like any sort of
like a unfiction thing.
Yeah, like any sort of like kind of pseudo like a monster like laboratory thing, like keeping tabs and like files and everything. And if you look at it, it's all structured as if you're looking at like the online database for like their information. So there are things that are redacted. There are like like incident reports and stuff like that. Like everything looks like like logs and files, but it also like a big narrative that basically it's just like our world that's infested with like all these monsters. It's like Cabin in the Woods. But like a little more quirky and a little more like not just zombies and ghosts and witches, stuff like that. Like
it's like
possessed soup cans and like shit like that.
Let me hold up. Yeah, it's very cool because it's sort of like an infinite world.
Yeah. Did you Adam? Did you watch the regret to bring him up the Max Landis show Dirk Gently?
I never saw it.
That show, the stuff happening within that narrative of that show is based off of SCP, which is like just these like anomalistic entities and the people and items and creatures that exist in the world, and they are able to just like kind of manipulate things around them. Like in the show, Fiona Dorff plays a character, a girl who just like can't die. She's just like stuff around her just happens, so she can never be killed by things. So
SCPs were also very cool because they were all written in this format. Like everyone who submits to this, and it is I'm still screen sharing. Everyone who submits to this world is doing it in this format of like it's like classified information documents, basically.
Oh, okay.
So they're all done like redacted and like you have to read how they're contained. Like they go through 3 levels. There is safe, which is called what?
Just safe.
No, it's loose. Euclid.
No, it's safe.
It's safe. Okay.
There's 3 levels of like threat level classification. Safe is just like it's an item or a creature or person that's just safe. Like nothing's gonna happen to it. It just has this anomalistic attribute. Mm-hmm. And then Euclid is where in certain conditions it can be dangerous. If you do something wrong with it or if you mistreat it or stuff like that, it could be like a dangerous entity or thing. Mm-hmm. And then and Keter is like the very deadly one where like you just don't like fuck with it. Otherwise, it can kill you or like turn you inside out, or throw you to another dimension, like whatever.
I'm like looking for like a good version of it.
Yeah,
Here, I want to show you a
but
picture.
it's really cool. It's like a deep dive. You get into it. It's like just like this kind of like rabbit hole of going down these different creatures and monsters, stuff like that. And like some of them cross over because like they like test certain ones on other ones, see how they react.
Oh, it's
like,
so cool.
So reading those logs of like the incident things of how they put one another against each other, it's very cool.
Here's why it's hard though, because it's written in a very unuser friendly way. I think by design, it's written like almost like a Wikipedia page for like stuff that they're just numbers, right? It's just SCP, blah, blah, blah. I think this one's my favorite one. Is this it? Yep, here we go. This guy.
Oh yeah.
So this is an example of one. This isn't like a normal one. This isn't written up like the rest of them are written up. If you just want to check real quick, they're written up like this. Special containment things. This guy's Keter class, disruption class. And
I gotta say, guys, this reminds me a lot of the amazing tie-in content for Twin Peaks a few years ago.
Yes, because David Lynch knows how to do this.
I have the secret story and the final dossier, the Twin Peaks books that connect the original and the new series, and all the background stuff that they layer in and the way they tie it into history. And it feels like they've gleaned this from not only government documents, but the internet and all this.
David Lynch has always had a good sense of the internet. Like he had an early paywalled site, David Lynch, I think it was .com, where his creepy flash animation shit that I literally, again, just being on brand, did not like. He would run these little ARGs. Are
you talking about Dumbland?
Yes,
because I own Dumbland on DVD. It's an acquired taste, but like all the farting and stuff does. I feel like David Lynch was like letting off some steam.
And Eli Roth helped out with it. So this is, by the way, an example of one of the most famous ones. It's a Euclid one, so it's actually relatively safe. Here's how you're supposed to contain it. And then
this one is one of the oldest ones, and it's effectively a weeping angel
from Doctor Who. Yeah. You have to like keep your eyes on it, or else if you break eyes, it will kill you by strangling you at the skull.
Yeah, so it can only move when it's not in direct eyesight. Yeah.
So here's like the creature information, and then for some of these, what they will have is these extra notes, like these
addendums.
They got addendums and like classified things that you have to like transcription of a journal.
Yeah.
Like, so these things just go on. Like this wormhole for just this one site about these fake monsters just go on forever. Like here's the classifications and all these other SCPs that it deals with, data expunged. I mean, these things themselves have like these hyperlinks that are like secret and weird. This is maybe my favorite one of all time. So if we can just see how this is different from all the other ones very clearly. Hold on, let me put it on the other screen so I can look at you guys. I sent this to my dad and I was like, is this not the most brilliant thing you've ever seen? Hold on. Here we go. So this one's not written like the other ones. Can we figure out why?
Wow.
I'm going through it really fast, but essentially,
this one is structured as like an infographic.
Because if you speak it or think about it,
or write about it,
if you write in the written words or think about it in terms of language, it can come and kill you. If you manage to just think about it like in terms of images and just draw it, it doesn't understand. It gets very confused by imagery and slogans and pictures. Can understand any kind of written communication. It can go through walls. It can like escape from anything. So you have to contain it by literally just keeping it all to graphic images.
So that's like that's how they contain and document this particular SCP.
And this is just one of like literally hundreds of thousands.
Yeah, there's another one, I forgot what the number was, but it's just this person who anyone around it just believes like it's a person, just a regular guy, but everyone around him thinks he's a king. So like the document is written like by someone like talking about like the royal lordship, because like that person was affected by their influence.
This one's written different than the other ones and has like a weird name. So.
Yeah, but so about a year ago, a little over a year ago, I fell in love with this stuff, and it's one of the first things we bonded over. Just like scrolling through it on my phone one night, just like looking at all our favorite ones. And around that time, there was a Kickstarter for this thing, which is a SCP art book.
Wow!
It's 3 books. This is the like hard case for
this goes on. Like, you guys don't even know how big this just goes on for.
And so this is like one of them. So it's just
I'm gonna take this off
like a plague doctor SCP, and then like you open it.
Plague masks again, Drew. Yeah. Comes full.
I mean, no, that's like their emblem is the guy because he's the plague doctor. He actually SCPs, as well as having the Wikipedia side of it, also have people who then write fan fiction or like not fan fiction. I mean, it's just fiction at this point about the various SCPs and their worlds and like them interacting, which being a Twin Peaks fan, I love like watching the plague doctor guy created in one person's story get introduced to this other thing in another person's story, and someone create a whole universe about it. Problem is, 1 million people create this, and 1 million people do these crossovers. So like categorizing these can become very hard.
There's a lot by this point, yeah. But the art book's very cool. So we have 3 of these, and they're just like I could show here. Yeah, they're just like art of like individual SCPs, and they have like the documentation there next to it, like the information.
An SCP TV show would be fucking amazing.
Yeah, so if they could pull that off, that would be insane. There's like stuff like that, and so it's all very cool stuff.
What's the second favorite one that you like to tell about? Oh, the Keter class thing that's as old as God. Possibly is God. This is like the one we'll end on.
Yeah, I think this is the one we'll end on, and basically just like the biggest SCP. I think that is like the most longest ongoing one. Is SCP-682, which is hard to kill reptile. That's its name.
Hard to kill reptile.
It's just basically if
doesn't help that all these SCPs are just numbers.
Yeah, exactly, and they have like some nicknames. But it's basically just this big giant alligator lizard thing that is impossible to kill. Like it can regenerate, it adapts, it transforms, it evolves to anything that they throw at it, and it's like so that it has like a huge
list of like
I think dozens long rap sheet of of them throwing other SCPs at it to try and kill it.
What's it called?
Nothing works.
It's called
682.
Oh, you remember the name? Okay. Yeah. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, because that's like a very famous one, and so they just that's my favorite one to look at because just looks like huge archive of incidents that they have, or them just throwing different SCPs at it to see if it can die and nothing works. I'm
not realizing this should have been its own episode of you just talking about SCPs.
Yeah.
SCP
682. It's a big thing. It's a big thing.
SCP 682. That's my favorite part of it.
Come back to it because give me some time to dig into this. I'd love to come back to this.
We should.
And get into more details because it's pretty fascinating. And I think what we're all getting at though is it's so. It never stops fascinating me how we're in the past 20 to 30 years, especially in the dawn of the internet. Like I feel like we are in an age where we still have traditional stories. We're still writing stories on screen and on the page and whatnot. But I love these group narratives that tend to build over time. And I feel like it's our modern day way of mythologizing ourselves. And we're going to look back on it, and it might be hard to digest it, but that's why we got to just keep relating to it in real time.
It is beyond that, Adam. The internet has allowed us to create a completely new kind of narrative. Like there is now no longer the idea that there's only 9 kind of stories out there. There used to be man versus nature, man versus man. No, we didn't understand or capitulate at the time that there would be abilities for various people to join in and tell a story together. And for the story to be evolving like a constant exquisite corpse, just be unfolded and over and over and over again. That is a new kind of narrative. It's a new kind of storytelling. And it's really frankly, one of the most exciting things that the internet has brought us and not enough discussed. It's often we never discuss how the internet fiction, an unfiction is what they call it, has birthed an entire new form of narrative that I'm seeing kids so young, get into it so young and become creators so young. Thank you.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited to see what this next generation can bring us. I'm just worried that I will not be able to find it. Marisol, Adam, where can we find you guys? Speaking of finding.
my info's down below. I'm here every other week. The bracket show wrapped last week on Finely Tailored. Marisol and I did that. That was a lot of fun. And you can watch the reruns if you haven't caught up on it. But yeah, Eisenthor on Twitter and Letterboxd. I'll be back with a vengeance in season 9 of the Schmoedown. Other than that, I am enjoying myself and chilling right now.
Chilling like a villain. I still need to watch Pig. That's not reminiscent of anything. I just really need to watch Pig.
Yeah, we're gonna do a double feature of Pig and Into the Ghostland, whatever that movie.
Oh, Into the Ghostland. Yeah, it looks great.
Pig and lamb.
Pig and lamb and cow.
Yeah.
Pig and lamb.
Yeah, you need to watch Lamb. You're right.
You're right.
Well, there's first cow and there's cow. I heard there's a movie just called Cow that came out this year, but I haven't heard much about it.
Speaking of which, did you hear my great idea for a Spider-Man villain? The apothecary. And during the day, he's a Dwayne Reed pharmacist denying you your prescription, and that night he's just lacing New York's water supply with fentanyl. No, he's for real. He's a fucking asshole. Go get him, Spidey. Ghostland is dope, says King's Portal. Marisol, where can we find you?
You could probably you can look up Schmoedown videos because
she dabbles.
She dabbles.
Watch Schmoedown. Yeah, season 8 is wrapped up. You can find me in my hobbit hole, watching a lot of movies and not doing much else. Sometimes, occasionally, like I get on the internet and I tweet sometimes.
Yeah.
And
I 100% understand your pick for your first celebrity crush.
What did she pick?
Fraser and Tarzan.
Yo,
it was Brendan Fraser in George of the Jungle, which was
Sorry.
I'd say Brendan Fraser and the Mummy is for real though too.
That's for real, but like my sexual awakening, like where I realized that men were attractive, was Brendan Fraser. And George
Where's
of
the
Jungle.
love for Princess Vespa? I tweeted out Princess Vespa and I got like a fraction of the response, which I guess it's a little more niche, but hey, Thurs is real in Spaceballs.
Mine is very on brand. It was Jeff Goldblum from Jurassic Park. I saw the movie 12 times in the theater. I was like, there's something about that neurotic man who talks too much that I just find deeply sexual.
I don't know why I thought you were going to say Peter Weller in Adventures of Buckaroo.
No, what's funny is the second one was Peter Falk. Weirdly, I mean that one was just weird, but I just was very into Columbo and
one of the funniest things I heard.
It's the eye. It's the eye.
Yeah.
One of the funniest things I heard you say recently was I was watching. We're back at home in my hometown and watching TV late at night. I was flipping through channels and I just hear you say around the corner of the room saying like, "Is that Columbo? Fuck yeah."
Is that Columbo? Fuck yeah.
Have you seen Wings of Desire, the movie that?
No, I have not seen Wings of Desire. No.
So that's a great film, so much better than City of Angels, and Peter Falk plays himself in it, and he's so good.
I mean, him in the Muppet movie. God, I mean, everything with Peter Falk. That's a whole other episode of Why We Like This. Is because we were saying Peter Falk over and over.
We can go hard on Peter Falk.
Yeah.
SCP and Peter Falk. Celebrity Crush is a good idea for a show, by the way. Eric, where can people find you?
You can find me at NerdChronic across all social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all that stuff. Not editing for the movie Trivia Schmoedown right now, which is admittedly very nice for the holidays as we gear up for Christmas time. And Drew just won something on her clock.
Gremlin!
She won a Gremlin Funko with 3D glasses.
Hell yeah!
Hey, yeah. Gives me a win.
I heard this good.
What we will be doing next week, I know next week is Spider Week.
Spider Monday.
But we will be doing a Lord of the Rings mega quiz for the 20th anniversary with the joining us.
On Thursday at 7 p.m.
Yes.
Yeah.
Spider Night. But for anyone who didn't get their tickets in the chaos, you can join us here that night doing Lord of the Rings.
And we do need to do Twister, and we do need to do Casablanca. We have a bunch of fun things coming up.
Yeah, Mark Riley says he wants a sideways quiz.
Mark, what?
Oh God! Oh God! I have to do Sideways.
Oh God!
It's one of my favorite films. It's not even a joke. And it's
Sideways fan in the
can be honest, Sideways might be one of the sleepers that like everyone in the Schmoedown wants in on, and like everyone is like very territorial about.
Probably, yeah.
Sideways is big. Sideways is a big fucking deal to me. So yeah.
I could see like it being the thing where like we run out of screen space for people to have sideways.
Yeah. Well, Adam forgot to tell you that Paul Giamatti was his first celebrity crush.
Oh gosh.
Well leading.
I get it. Rhino. He's a good looking rhino.
If you put me and Riley on the sideways quiz together, it's going to be epic. I promise.
We'll get that going then. For sure.
Yeah.
Only if you guys have wine the whole time you're on.
Oh, I'll drink wine. Nothing but
It's gonna be Merlot, or I like her. Like, what is it, Chardonnay or Merlot?
Merlot.
They tell you now if you go to Napa wine country. Isn't that where the group went? Like all the Mara and Dan and all them.
It's somewhere out there, yeah.
I think they went to the actual place, and they say because I remember someone telling me they do not like it when you ask about Merlot. Guys, I just want a gizmo with 3D glasses. So now I'm on Gremlin and a gizmo with 3D glasses on.
The pair combo.
Wow.
Dude, I play this game so often that they sent me a thank you box of cookies today. Like from the gaming app, sent me a box of cookies, being like, thanks for playing us all the time and like funding our entire
funding our operation here.
Oh God, guys. Why are we like this claw games?
Where can we find you?
Just playing this game winner. I'm not even trying to promote it because it seriously will ruin your life. But yeah, doing that over at Content Candy, which is the name of our podcast network that we have Garmin Shozy on. That's with me and Lon Harris. We have a new episode coming up pretty soon that we have taped, and it's very, 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 very funny. It's like one of my favorite episodes. Me and Eric are going to be doing stuff. We have the Video Chronicles.
Yeah, Video Chronicles update our lives and what's going on here, but also reviews. So we're going to review West Side Story, I believe.
Yay! We are? Yay! I got so many things I want to say about it. And my mom can't make me write about it. Not over something that's not text. Otherwise, guys, somebody says, spoiler alert, Marisol is a Statue of Liberty in No Way Home.
And in Ghostbusters 2. Ghostbusters 2.
Hoot Shoot Riot, just for you next week. Adam will probably read another Shakespeare in Space episode. Or in 2 weeks.
Yeah, I'm gonna save that. We gotta do that out. We gotta parcel that out. But I'm honestly still so like hyped about this potential sideways thing. I didn't know that was even on your radar. So like please, for the love of God, let me play that quiz.
Okay, we'll definitely get you in that.
Yeah, let's put that on priority. We'll prioritize it. We should write this shit down.
We'll cast the net out. See who bites.
We should write that shit. Okay, on a list.
Yeah.
Okay, guys. Thank you guys so much for joining us tonight. This has been a really fun episode. God, I love talking about the internet. Sorry if we go too deep sometimes, or like me and Eric.
VideoDrew is the internet.
Yes, so welcome to the internet. Welcome to me. Don't take too much LSD, kids. Just take just enough. We will see you next time. And until then, blah!